Right now, there is a big problem with Starbucks stock, and it's called China. Well, the problem is the fact that so much of Starbucks revenue, or expected new revenue, is coming from the People's Republic of China. I think maybe like 15 to 17% of China's Starbucks revenue comes from the China market. But I can see, as an investor, there's some signs that China's starting to not really like the growth of Starbucks. Starbucks actually started in China around 1989, and that was a time period actually when China was a little bit more open to the West. They liked the idea of developing this new coffee market, and I think they saw it as a form of being more modern by getting into coffee. But now, actually, China has their own brand that I think that they would prefer to promote, called Luckin Coffee. That's kind of like the Chinese version of Starbucks, and even though it's been delisted in the US, it still exists in the Chinese market. And one thing that's about the China as a country is they tend to promote their national champions. They're not really for free trade. They don't like competitors from outside of China to enter the Chinese market. So people who are invested in Starbucks, the problem with it is that a lot of the growth in Starbucks in recent years has to do with the growth in China, because they have 5,000 stores in China. And you have to think about it. China is a country with 1.3 billion people. I think there are about 20,000 stores just in the US. So if you think about it, there should be way more than 5,000 stores in China. And I think some people were even buying Starbucks stock in recent years because the growth would be from the Chinese market. But now there's some indications, you can see it, that China's starting to clamp down on Starbucks. For instance, there have been fake news about how there was like a cockroach that was found in a cup of coffee, or there was a story about how some Starbucks employees in China told some police officers to get out of there, or something like that. A lot of this is state-promoted propaganda to get people in China to think very nationalistic and to not like Starbucks anymore, because they're like, oh, that's the American company. So these kinds of stories are intended to rile people up and get people to not drink coffee at Starbucks. So when you see these stories, you have to realize they didn't come out of thin air. They just didn't happen. This isn't some random event. This is actually a slow, purposeful event to get people to stop going to Starbucks there, drive Starbucks either out or really heavily discourage people from going there, and it's to increase their national champions. But as an investor, you're probably in a losing game. Starbucks stock is definitely underperforming the overall market, and I think that's the major reason why. It's kind of following, it's almost essentially a Chinese stock at this point in time, because the Chinese stock market has been going down quite a bit too. Then you have a lot of strict lockdowns and stuff like that happening in China, which makes it very unpredictable to invest in Starbucks stock. Now they have brought Howard Schultz back, and he's kind of he has very good ties with the Chinese Communist Party, including Xi Jinping. So we'll see if he's able to resolve the new nationalism against Starbucks there. But I kind of doubt it. I have a feeling that you're going to start seeing China closing off, and that will mean trying to discourage Starbucks from growing any further, or trying to get them to potentially leave the country. I don't know if they would go that far, because I think even people in China would think that that's a sign of bad things to come if you drive all the Western companies out. So let me know what you think of Starbucks stock. I would not be buying this stock just because I think that there are good reasons why the stock has been going down recently due to the clampdown in China and the new programs aimed at trying to potentially drive it out of the country. So let me know in the comments below if you found this interesting. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.